What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show. Here on a Tuesday night, the Blazers played for the second night in a row. They played their second preseason game, and they lose at home to the Utah Jazz 118-101. This was a little bit of a rough one, Eric. I ended up missing the first half. I watched some clips back. I was doing that before the stream. That's why we didn't go live literally right away like we would normally do. Eric watched the majority of the first quarter. Both me and Eric were playing basketball tonight, so rec games get in the way. But this seemed like generally kind of an uninspired defensive effort, which is to be expected in preseason, but it's never good. Preseason, regular season, summer league. It's never good losing to a Utah Jazz tanking team by 17. So, Eric, what was your main theme from this preseason game? Can we take anything away from this one? Should we take anything away from this one? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought one good thing was I felt like the first unit moved the ball a lot better than they did last night and also cut a lot more. So that was encouraging to see, just people more in the right spots and doing the right thing instead of standing around tonight. So also, even though the results weren't good, I'd say that's still an improvement over last night, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a comment that sums it up pretty well. Actually, it's a member message. Let me get to that after I think Andrew Hartwell's member message, his 13th month member message. His message is, "Sup," in all caps. What's up, Andrew? Thank you for being a member. And then shout out
Hey,
Chris
Andrew.
S., member for 20 months. 20 months. He says, "At my first game in 2 years, Dame looks 10 years younger. Grant looks great. Nurkic is finishing well. It's preseason. Not much else to worry about." Thank you, Chris S., for the 20-month member message. You can become a channel member by clicking that join button below. And every month, you get a message that we get to read off on stream, on top of some other things. So definitely check that out. Chris's comment is basically how I feel after this game. Dame looked good, man. Dame looked good. Okay, that's the biggest positive from this game. Dame looked like old Dame, man. I don't know what his stat line is. Let me pull up ESPN here. But Dame looked like himself, which is just, it's awesome. He looked shifty. He looked quick. He looked a little quicker than last night, I thought. In 24 minutes, 21 points, 6 for 10 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, got to the line 6 times, made all his free throws, and had 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Now, he was a little sloppy with the ball, but I think you can chalk that up to the dude has barely played in the last 9 or 10 months, so he's still getting a feel for the ball, but considering how little he's played, you'll take a little bit of sloppiness in preseason. That's to be expected in preseason. You absolutely will take that if he's giving you 21 points in 24 minutes coming off this surgery.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I don't really understand why they played him 24 minutes on the second night of a back-to-back, but I'm happy he escaped looking good and no real side effects of anything. So it was good to see that on the second night of a back-to-back, he wasn't limited or anything like that, and he had full energy and was ready to go. The only thing I can think of is they're really hammering home that conditioning thing they were talking about on media day. So that, I guess that's why the starters played so much tonight on the second night of a back-to-back in preseason. But yeah, I'm glad everyone looks like they're healthy that played.
Yep, absolutely. And then Jeremy Grant looks good on both ends, man. 3 for 5 from 3, 5 for 10 from the field. Had a couple real nice drives. 13 points in 23 minutes. Had 4 rebounds, which is good for Grant in 23 minutes. We're going to be talking about that this year and watching his rebounding. He boxed out a couple times where he didn't get the board. But with Jeremy Grant, that's like the one thing that's just baffling to me is he's never been a good rebounder. So as long as he's boxing out, I'll take it from him, unfortunately. But, I mean, on both sides of the ball, he's looked impressive this preseason, man. Like, he's the type of forwards that good teams have. So it's nice having one of those forwards. The problem is who's going to be the other forward. That's a conversation we'll have a little bit later, but Grant looked good.
There's 2 things with Grant. One is I'd include Winslow in this as well. It's just an element we haven't had of help side when a guy is like going across the paint and looks like they're going to get a layup. Winslow and Grant always seem to get in the action and contest that shot, whereas in the past it might have been an easy lay-in or dunk for a player. So I like the energy and the IQ to contest those shots and being in the right spot. And then the other thing with Grant that I've been really impressed with is he keeps the ball high when he catches it on those three-pointers, and he's got a fairly quick release too. So if he's shooting those comfortably, that's going to be huge for us to have a player who can get that shot off fast and doesn't need a lot of time to do it or need to have a lot of open space, especially on those cross-court Nurk passes from the post. I think we can really utilize that a lot.
Yeah, and the ball movement's good with him in the game. Like, there's 4 things that I want in a Trailblazers forward. That's outside shooting ability, that is off the dribble creation ability, it's defensive ability, and then the ability to be part of an offense that moves the ball. Okay? Jeremy Grant checks all 4 of those boxes. The problem is I don't know if there's another forward on this team that checks 3 of them. That's the problem. That's kind of my takeaway from this game. But Grant looks good, and then Nurkic, man, I know he fouled out. Here's the thing, centers are going to get in foul trouble. The problem is it's going to be even more exasperated. Is that the right word? I don't know. It's going to be even worse this season because we don't have anybody suitable behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what, you're going to play Grant at a lot at a small ball 5? As I said, his rebounding is iffy for a 4 spot, so it's very iffy for a 5 spot. You're going to play Drew Eubanks 25 minutes? I mean, that guy he's not he's not a backup caliber big man, in my opinion. So that's the problem, is when Nurkic gets into foul trouble, what happens? The Blazers, I still think they should have done a better job addressing the center spot and not just settling for Drew Eubanks is going to be our backup center, or Trent Watford is going to be our backup center. But Nurkic, Eric, he was, 5 for 7 from 2 last game?
Yeah, 5 for 7 or 2, including that really long into the shot clock.
Yeah, into the shot clock shot that he had to take, but even if you count that, today he was 5 for 6 from 2. That is 10 for 13 from 2. And a couple finishes have been impressive. He had an impressive finish in the first quarter. Isn't this what people wanted from him? They wanted him to finish everything? Well, he's been finishing everything in the first couple of games. And he's also had a couple impressive, just like quick passes. He hit Grant in the corner on a cross-court pass from the post. There was another play where he tracked down a rebound and kicked it out for an open 3. I think that was Grant as well. Like, he and Grant already have chemistry.
Yeah, he kicked it out to Dame, and then Dame swung it to Grant. A good play by all involved.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is like having a center that can make the right pass and make it quickly, and when you have offensive talent on the floor that defenders have to get out on and you're able to move the ball, you're going to get good shots. And Nurkic, even if he's not getting an assist, is a part of that because of his passing ability. Okay, so he's finishing, he's passed the ball well. Now he needs to shoot better from the free throw line, 2 for 6, and had one in the first quarter that didn't even get over the rim, it seemed like. And then he shot another 3 today. Wasn't really close. He's not a 3-point shooter. I don't know if he'll ever become one. Like, he's tried. He's just not a 3-point shooter. But what you expect from him is passing and hopefully finishing. And he had a career year finishing the ball last year and still got heat for his lack of finishing ability, while he's 10 for 13 from 2 to start the season. Or start the preseason.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it. He was already improving his finishing last year, despite what anyone says. He put up career finishing numbers, and in pretty much every metric you can measure that by. I really liked his activity in the first quarter. I just felt like he was moving really well off the ball, getting to spots where it was easy to get him the ball, and then he was making the right reads off of those as well. Just really active around the basket. So I liked it a lot tonight from Nurk.
Yep. Let's move on to the rest of the starting lineup. First, let's talk about Ant, okay? I made a point, not to bring this back up, but I made a point that a lot of people didn't agree with, but we saw Ant be the guy when he was the number 1 guy, okay? And we've seen Ant play off Dame, but Ant didn't play at that super high level. Ant's never played at that super high level consistently as the number 2 guard in a lineup, right? Now, he and Dame, I'm not saying they don't have chemistry or that he can't be that guy or anything, but when he had his super hot stretch where he was playing phenomenal, he was the main guy and constantly had the ball in his hands. I said this offseason that it still might be a bit of an adjustment period for him to play at that super high elite level, but not be the main guard who's constantly having the ball in his hands. I feel like a lot of people disagreed with that, but Ant struggled the first couple of games. He was 2 for 12 last game. He's 4 for 13 this game. That is 6 for 25. And he can definitely shoot better than that, so I'm not worried at all. But we need him to be that number 2 offensive option and play like he did last year when he was the guy, but make that work within a better offensive lineup.
Yeah. Part of that, though, I mean, I don't think people remember that he did have some bad shooting games mixed in there. But like he would catch fire like in the third quarter or something. Like he always had like one good quarter where he just made a bunch of shots in a row. So like his overall shots looked a lot better. So I'm not really worried about preseason numbers where he's not.
Yeah, but that's my point though. Is like he's not going to have as many shots in order to get going necessarily, or he's not going to be able to take as many shots as he did last year during that stretch.
But you can also make the argument that obviously opposing teams are going to be keen on Dame first, so that might open it up to him. Whereas they're probably playing more of a base defense right now in preseason, where but Ant should like you mentioned this before, how he needs to do a better job with the second unit than CJ did, right?
Yeah,
and that's something that if Ant's going to have that breakout, I think he's got to pick his spots with the starting lineup, but then really just take over the game when it's time with the second unit, and hopefully he does that.
Yeah, but basically the point is it's a different mental approach that he needs a little bit of time to get used to, okay? And I'm not saying he won't. Like, I like his fit off the ball, off of Dame and whatnot. It's just, I feel like pretty much everybody, including me, kind of, I was very high on Anthony Simons going into the season. But I feel like everybody just expected him to come in and automatically be just as good next to Dame as CJ McCollum was. And just to be like, oh yeah, he's going to be a 21 point per game scorer and he's going to be great. And, like that's why we traded CJ. And people didn't really acknowledge that, yeah, he had a great stretch last year, but it's a different mental approach than he needs to have this season going into each game. So that's why there might be a little bit of an adjustment period. I'm not going to put stock into him having 2 bad shooting games. It could be 2 bad shooting games, but just mentally, it's not the same approach as when he had that breakout that he has now, playing next to a Jeremy Grant, Yusuf Nurkic, Damian Lillard, where he doesn't have to be that guy, and he has other talent around him that he has to fit in with.
Yeah, but we're also talking about one of the, I think he was second in the league last year in catch and shoot threes.
48%. I don't expect him to shoot that high again. But
it's possible. Like, there's a lot of good shooters that on catch and shoot threes shoot much higher in the higher 40 percentile. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. But
he has to be more though. Like I have no worries with his 3-point shooting. He needs to be more than that though. He needs to be a guy that can create off the dribble and attack the rim and pass and that sort of thing. And that's what I think will take some time to adjust to mentally. So patience with Ant, I think, is good. Not overreacting to 2 preseason games is good. The expectations were through the roof, and I feel like not enough people acknowledge that he might need a little bit of time to be that guy while also playing next to Dame when Dame is absolutely that guy, and you got Grant, you got Nurkic,
And then there's always, this is going to be the case with young players. You miss your first couple versus make your first couple, and you start to press a little bit. Next time you're like, kind of questioning, should I shoot it or should I give the ball back to Dame so he can get a shot? Those are the kind of adjustments you're talking about.
Yep.
Like you have to like know when to do that. Whereas last year he missed a couple and he was like, we're tanking. Like who cares? I'll just let the next one fly and have confidence. Whereas I think he's kind of questioning it after he misses a couple. So
that's why putting up stats on a bad team, you can't necessarily fully read into it.
Right.
With other teams. We've talked about that before.
But I think, whatever next game, if he hits his first couple threes or whatever, I think it'll be fine. He'll have like a 9 for 14 game or something, and we'll be talking about this like it was silly to worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely. But we need him to be more. One assist in 27 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can't. He has to make plays for guys, man. That's not good. So, but especially with the bench lineup, and that's the thing is he's also kind of struggled with the bench lineup. So, but he also doesn't have the best spacing, and the bench lineup just seems kind of wonky right now. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about who started at the 3. Justice Winslow, 19 minutes, 8 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 steals, and a block. 4 for 5 from the field. Shut up, ESPN. Stop trying to sell me SUVs. I'm not buying an SUV. Justice Winslow, 19 minutes, 4 for 5 from the field, 8 points, 4 assists, 4 steals, 4 boards.
I loved his activity in this game. I felt like he did a much better job than he did last night of not just camping out at the 3-point line. And he was getting after it on defense, and that's a positive to see.
Yeah. I still just wish he could shoot, man. I like. I don't know. I don't want to bash his lack of shooting because he did a lot of good things tonight, and he and Nurk played well off each other, and he passed the ball well and played good defense. I mean, that's what we need for everything he provides is what we need from a forward. Like, other than the fact that he can't shoot. You know what I mean? Like, everything else is great. And that's the thing. It's like, if we don't have somebody else to step up and, like, take the job, you know, Nasir Little or Josh Hart, Josh Hart's been really passive for some reason this preseason. He shot 1 shot in 21 minutes, which is just weird. If nobody steps up and takes it, then maybe it's a situation where you do start Justice Winslow because nobody else stepped up to take that job. But, like, man, I'm kind of disappointed with Nas right now. We can talk about him. I just don't know if he can have 2 non-shooters and play at like that high level of offensively at like a top 10 level. Because I mean, how many contending teams play with 2 non-shooters? Probably just Golden State, but they move the ball and move players unlike any team in the league, and it's like very, very, very hard to replicate.
I know this is something we've talked about before, but Chris S. asked, tactics question, how did we avoid exposing the shooting, more motion offense? He was great. Stay tuned for Brant's breakdown to see what I'm talking about when we had the conversation last night about the same thing, how they can avoid having him be a negative shooter. And I think they did some really nice things with him tonight. And it's more just like moving. I don't like a standing still Justice Winslow. Like, if he's standing still, I think it's bad things are going to happen. If he's moving around, whether it's on offense or defense, like he just has a knack of getting the ball and being around the hoop and stuff like that. So like, you got to use those kind of things, not just having him stand at the 3-point line like last night, because that's not going to work out at all.
Yeah. I mean, but things bog down in the playoffs, and guys hold more off the ball when guys try and cut, and guys play, more physically in the playoffs. And I don't know. I just don't know how it works in the playoffs. It could work in the regular season. I'd be worried about it working in the playoffs, because when I look at things, it's like, how many contending teams have 2 guys in their starting lineup that can't shoot threes?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the only team is Golden State. Every other team has 4 guys that can shoot, at least. Maybe there's another team, chat. Let me know. Not
necessarily. I think there's a lot of teams that only have 3.
Contending, like, high-level offenses? That
maybe
have
not
2 guys that don't shoot threes? Like, that's, yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. I just don't know how much you can make up for it with him moving and that sort of thing. I don't know. We can find out, and maybe it'll work. But it is... like, it just sucks, because we need somebody that can do all the things he does and then also shoot. That's what we need. And hoping it was Nas, Eric, but speaking of Nas, 13 minutes, 1 for 6 from the field, 2 points, 1 assist.
0 for 3.
0 for 3 from 3. So, what'd you think of Nas tonight?
Um, I didn't like how he kind of floundered when Stanley Johnson was guarding him. Like that guy just pestered the crap out of him, and he did not handle the pressure from Stanley Johnson well. We had a possession where Stanley Johnson knocked the ball out of bounds, and then they tried to inbound it, and they couldn't really get it in, and we got lucky to get it back, and then they inbounded again, and Stanley Johnson almost got another steal, and then a few minutes later, Nas drove down the middle of the paint from the side, and Stanley stripped him there. Yeah, just tough. I felt like his body language was a little better tonight, but it's not looking great right now. Hopefully the games he starts he gets better, but I think he needs to have a better mindset no matter what his role is. Yeah.
You don't want a guy on the team that has to start in order to be engaged, because once he gets used to starting, then what's going to take him mentally out of it? You know what I mean? Remember when Nas first played and he was like, I'm going to play hard every second I'm on the floor, and he's just like flying around? Like, I get that it's preseason, but my goodness, these 2 preseason games, he is, like, it's amazing that that's the same person. And It could just be he's coming back from injury and whatnot. So, I'll give him a pass for now, but, like, he's got to improve, man. And I don't know, go ahead.
I'll just say it could be, every time he's gotten going in his career, he's had some sort of nagging injury that's prevented him from fully breaking out, or at least having an opportunity to do so. Yeah. So a little bit of that might be he's like hesitant to test it too much, like go too hard because he's worried he's going to get hurt and then miss, a few weeks in the season or whatever. Like he shouldn't play like that. I mean, I guess you could make a case for preseason. Like you don't want to like give up your body and dive on the floor every possession. But he definitely needs that mentality back and to get comfortable and not worry about that. But unfortunately, that's been part of the storyline with him his first 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, too, is everybody hyped up a breakout this year, and I'm just wondering, like, does he have the offensive skill set to have that breakout? Does he have the off-the-dribble, like, ball handling ability and the shooting ability to have the breakout that everybody expected from him?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think it's that clear cut. You know what I mean? Like, he has good moments and flashes, but he's not the best ball handler. He's not the best with the ball in his hands. He's not somebody that's going to make plays for others. And his shot has been, like, just last year, he had 2 months where he's shooting, like, 26% or worse, man. Like, he just has these stretches where he can't hit threes at all, where he's just an absolute non-shooter. And then he'll have this month where he's hot, but it's like you need to be able to rely on a guy like that, if he's in your starting lineup, to at least somewhat consistently knock down shots. And he hasn't, he just hasn't proven it. So I'm kind of questioning, like, the hype going into this. Like, I don't know if he's skilled enough to really fulfill how much people hyped him up, which isn't his fault, like, and I hope that he does have that level of skill. I'm questioning that right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but at the same time, I was thinking about this too. Several comments from chat talking about his size. He looks like a good like football player that's just trying to play basketball on the side right now, almost,
Yeah.
Those type of people, like, they're athletic enough and they can do it, but like, it doesn't seem like it's his main sport right now. I think like Dwight Howard at one point lost some of his agility when he got too beefed up there.
He's too big right now. I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, that might be some of it too. He's just trying to, and like, his bigger size makes it looks like he's a lot slower out there, or maybe he actually is. I don't know. But like, he definitely, I don't know. He doesn't have like a good feel for the ball right now either. It seems like when he dribbles, it's not really controlled that often. So yeah, I don't know if it's just something that he's struggling with timing and getting stuff back, but he definitely needs to do something different because this isn't really working out.
Yeah, and he still has time. Like, he's still young.
For sure,
what I mean?
yeah.
So he still has time to develop the skill. It's just like people are talking about, like, this is going to be the year for Nas, and we need him. We kind of need this to be the year for Nas. Now, of course, we can bring him back, and it could be next year, and we could be fine, right? It's just we need.
Will help
that.
keep his price down.
Yeah, and it'll help keep his price tag down. It's just we need that small forward, man. Like I think Grant is the answer at the 4. Just need that answer at the 3. And right now, I just don't feel like we're any closer than we were with Norm, which just disappointing.
Well, I mean, that's if you want to put Hart on the bench, but I think Hart is better than Norm.
Hart's better than Norm. I just don't know if he can be that like lockdown on ball guy, which is what we need in the starting lineup. That's why it's
Norm wasn't either. I think he's better at that than Norm.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of Hart, man, like, dude, like this dude is just not doing anything.
Well, I don't know.
He started the preseason. He had like 2 impressive drives in the first quarter. And then he shot 2 shots in like the last 40 some minutes since then. 21 minutes tonight. This dude is 1 for 1 from the field and has 1 assist. He had 7 rebounds, but
we know this was a game or this was going to be a offseason where he expressed that he wanted to get better playing on the ball and setting up the offense and things like that. So I think that's just his focus, is making sure that he's learning how to do that properly, and he knows he can drive on players and do stuff. But like,
there's one possession though that made me really scratch my head. There was like 2 on the shot clock, and he has the ball in his hands. And he's not even really being guarded from 3. Like, he could easily shoot that 3, and he passes it off to Keon, who's like probably more guarded than him. You know what I mean? It's just like, really?
I was just a brain fart, but yeah. Yeah, that wasn't good, but I don't know. I mean, one play. I mean, people do that all the time.
I'm not worried. It was just weird to me. It's just weird to me, man. Yeah. Like, because that's the thing, is if he's playing like he does last year, like, yeah, okay, he can be that 3, you know, it's just... But I don't know, man. I was just hoping for it to look better at that spot right now.
As Bot points out, he is a guy that, unlike CJ, unlike Norm, can impact the game without shooting and have a really strong impact on the game. So I think he's doing enough other stuff right now to not be worried about it.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, I shouldn't really worry too much about it, but Hart was really good last year when he was aggressive. Like, I think in the starting lineup, if you have Hart that knows how to pick his spots when making the right pass, the right play for others, but also is the right spots in which to attack himself and try and score or shoot a 3, then the offense in the starting lineup could be really, really good. So, you know, like, once the regular season gets going, I'm not worried about it now. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like, once the regular season gets going, you want him to be more aggressive than this. You do want him to distribute and kind of play that point forward role a bit, but you want him to pick his spots. You don't want him to shoot 1 shot in 21 minutes. Like, you want him to still be aggressive enough as a scorer to be a threat, because that makes 4 guys that you have to guard behind the 3-point line, but also can attack you off the dribble. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get like good ball movement. Is you got guys that can attack, collapse the defense, and kick out, and then swing the ball, make the right cut off that. That's how you get motion in your offense, and that's how Dame and Eric will get the most.
Me?
Damon, I read a comment with your. I wish it. Yeah, you man, you should be out there. Hell yeah.
Hey man, I was dropping dimes tonight. So
were you?
Yeah.
Nice. I was dropping 3s today. I should be the one shooting. But yeah, no, I read the comment that says your voice is effed up from yelling at his TV from watching the game. So shout out to Jonathan for making me say you. But no, that's how you get Dame and Ant the most wide open 3s. Like, that's how you truly make use of their shooting ability. But then also, it's like, if you draw their defenders even a little bit, kick it out to them, that defender has to close back out, those guys are going to be able to attack easier. And it's not a situation where they have to ISO somebody and spend all this energy like trying to isolate, break down their defender, then drive into a set defense with all these guys that are ready to rotate on them and all this traffic. Mm-hmm. Then it's a situation where the defense is rotating, they attack a closeout, the defense might not be set and ready to help as quickly, and they're able to get all the way to the rim. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of offense I want. That's why I'm not like that's why Justice Winslow not being able to shoot is something that worries me a little bit, is because I don't, if he's out there and guys are driving into the paint and you got Nurkic down there, I just don't know how that works at the same level as if you have like a Josh Hart that's being aggressive enough in the starting lineup.
Yeah, and when it comes to that with Hart, the reason why I'm not worried about it, I mean, yeah, it would make our offense look better in these preseason games, but I know for a fact that he has proven he's one of the best guards in the league at doing that, attacking a closeout and getting to the rim and finishing. So I'm not worried about that at all. I think he's just trying to work on other stuff. And yeah, if it's happening in the regular season and he's being super passive, then I'll start to be like, dude, what the heck? But
yep.
Yeah, until that happens, I'm not going to worry about it.
Yep, absolutely. Who do you
Congrats,
want to talk about?
Kyle Wilson.
Yeah, congrats to Kyle. Who do you want to talk about next?
Let's go with Shaden.
All right, so he hit a jumper that I missed in the final minute because I was doing a thumbnail, I heard.
I missed the jumper too, but I saw him take it strong on, I think it was Cody Zeller, and had a nice finish.
Yeah. I like him curling towards the free throw line, and I think I brought this up in his preview, because he likes that mid-range shot, and then also if he can turn the corner like he did on his first field goal of the preseason, then he can obviously finish at the rim with his athleticism. So I liked seeing that play. I'm gonna look at all his field goal attempts right now. Let me make sure to mute the.
I know he shot like a pretty deep three that he missed, but
yeah, no, he had a play. I'm watching it now. Came off the screen, a little behind the back, step back. Yeah, that was nice. That was a good move. I mean, that's the thing. He just has to learn how to that pull up he hit. He just has to learn how to do that consistently enough where it's a good shot. Because right now it's probably not a good shot because he probably doesn't shoot a high enough percentage on it, and it's like a long two as well. So you probably don't want to shoot a ton of those. Like if he's shooting that from 3, I think it's better, or a little closer, it's better. But if he can shoot, 50% on that shot, which is going to be hard to do, but if he can shoot 50% on that shot, then cool. What I always say about mid-range shots, Eric, is it's good to keep the defense honest, because if you're guarding on the three-point line where you can't get a 3 up and then you start to drive, you don't want defenders just turning and like running towards the rim because you won't shoot a mid-range and they know they can just meet you at the rim, right? If you can pull up well enough from mid-range, they're not just going to turn and run and try and meet you at the rim. It's a situation where they're still trying to guard you halfway through your drive because they know you can pull up from the mid-range and knock down that shot well enough. And that makes it a little bit easier to get all the way to the rim, right? And like you watch Luka. Luka's mid-range is so good that it's like he's not even going quick, but defenders can't turn and meet him at the rim because he'll hit that floater or that mid-range shot, and like defenders have to stay up on him. So that's the thing, is it just has to be good enough to help him get to the rim and efficient enough that it's an okay shot, and then that's when you'll see him like evolve. I just don't know if he's that good of a mid-range shooter yet, but the flashes are going to be fun to watch for sure.
He just screams like a guy who, like, the more minutes you give him, the more he's going to grow, and like the more rapid his development will be.
Yeah.
And like you can just see it on there, like he just not really sure what to do. A lot of times he's kind of like we're talking about with Josh Hart. A lot of times he's passive. A lot less passive tonight than he was last night, I guess. But yeah, so I think he just needs minutes, and that's where we go back to the whole offseason debate since we drafted him, is do you force him 15 minutes a game to speed up that development? Because I think that would help his development so he's ready sooner rather than later. And maybe even by the end of the season could be a difference maker for your team. Or do you make him earn those minutes and just kind of bring him along slowly? I'm glad I'm not Chauncey and having to decide whether to play him over players that might be showing a little more right now. Fortunately for Sharp, I guess, and Chauncey, some of those players ahead of him, like Nas, aren't really showing a ton so far. So if Sharp beats them out for a position, I mean, maybe he could be the answer at that small forward eventually. I doubt it would happen earlier in the season, but I just want this. I think this guy just needs minutes.
Yeah. I'm just going back watching over his shot attempts. He missed his first 2 threes short. So he's probably still getting used to that NBA 3-point line. He never even played at a college 3-point line. Third one he missed pretty short as well. So I know in summer league he missed a couple jumpers short. So he just has to get the ball to the rim. It's not even like he's missing terribly. He's just missing short. But honestly, man, there's a chance he earns minutes with his defense before his offense.
Mm-hmm.
Which I never thought I'd say. And I was like one of the guys is like, don't sleep on his defensive potential. But I never thought it'd be a situation where his defense would be ahead of his offense. But I think his defense is ahead of his offense.
Yeah.
Dude, that block he had, did you see that block he had, Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Dude. he slid his feet, walled off Taylor Horton-Tucker, and then Taylor Horton-Tucker crossed over, got into the paint, and he just loaded up and... Dude, like, his hand was probably 11 feet, more than 11 feet high. Like, he's impressive. Because that's the thing, is everybody knows the block. Like, oh, wow, look at him block that shot. Look at that athleticism, right? But the fact that he walled off Taylor Horton-Tucker, stayed in front of Reggie Jackson last game, like, he can move his feet. And he, like, absorbed contact with his chest, didn't reach, didn't, like, hand check or anything. I mean, dude, this team did not look good defensively today. They kind of looked like they were just going through the motions, uninspired.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance he earns a few minutes with his defense. It's just crazy.
So question from Cameron Weaver: What would you do? Would you force some minutes, or do you think he just earns it naturally? Yeah.
Shout out to the 2 people that donate, by the way. We'll read your donos in a sec. I don't think they're going to force minutes to Sharp because they're playing Keon ahead of him in the preseason, and then Sharp only plays 4 minutes in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And that's without Gary Payton the second playing. Like, I have a gut feeling that he's just not going to play to start the season, which I would be bummed out by.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but...
If it were up to me, I would try to get him... I've made this comparison all off season. I'm not saying he is going to be Kobe Bryant, but Kobe Bryant got 15 minutes a game his rookie season. I think that's like a solid number if you can manage to give him those type of minutes. I just don't know if it's going to be possible with how loaded we are with different players at that position.
I wouldn't necessarily force him minutes if we can be like a top 5 or 6 seed. I don't think we can, though. I think I'll have my standings predictions in a couple days, but I think there's clearly 6 teams that are better than Portland in the West right now, and it could be as high as 8. I don't know, but I don't know what to make of this team, because I've said they have the potential to be a 4 seed, or maybe even a 3 seed if they can play defense, but the thing is like, you always knew the offense was going to be really good. I still have confidence in the offense. I no longer know that the offense is going to be really good, because I feel like there's a chance that in terms of our 3-point percentage and our defensive rating, there's a chance that we are below average in both. And I don't know how you... What'd you say?
Let's hope not.
Like, if you're below average in both in today's NBA, I don't know how you're not anything better than a playing team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even with Dame and Ant and all this stuff, like, in Grant, other than those 3 guys, who's like a consistently reliable shooter on this team?
I don't know.
Maybe Josh Hart, but I don't know if he's that good. Like, he's career like slightly below average. That's a problem, that you can only name 3 shooters that you know you can trust.
Mm-hmm.
I think they went for athleticism and defense and whatnot, but I don't even know if that's going to translate to them being an above average defense. But then also they sacrifice shooting in that process. And it's like, if you're a small team that also is an below average shooting team, because that's the thing, you have small lineups, and what those lineups do is they space and pace. They play fast. They space the floor. They get up threes. They knock down threes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm worried about. So,
I mean, the Warriors have a lot of non-shooters.
see, that's the thing, though, is they're the outlier to me. Like, if everybody could play that style of offense, they would. You know what I mean? Like, if that was replicable, I think you'd see another team that does it. But it's like, Steph Curry's the best player in the game in terms of moving off the ball, and he's the best shooter, and you got Draymond running things, and you got Klay out there, and then you got guys like Wiggins, Poole, that get a lot of space and know what to do with it, know how to attack, and they can shoot. And then they're big, set, good screens and know when to roll. And just, like, they'll finish around the rim.
While we're still on Sharp, kind of, let's read off Brian's donation, and then we'll get to, I think it was Chris S. with the other one. Brian Tadovich, $2 donation, thank you. He says he looked like a legitimate 3, not 2. Agreed when it comes to Sharp. I
mean, he has size. His standing reach is average for a small forward. Like, he makes up for being, 6'5", with a 7-foot wingspan.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is he can jump quick, so in terms of, like, contesting shots or blocking shots or getting boards, guys that can jump high and jump quick as well will be more competitive in those situations, and that kind of helps make up for a lack of size. So I absolutely think he can play the 3. I view him as a 3 as much as I view him as a 2. People, when we drafted him, were like, oh, another undersized guard. I said, no, he can play the 3. He has the size to play the 3. Absolutely. Thank you for the dono, Brian Tadovich.
I think you're the same way. I like to break it down more like guards. So like Dame, CJ, Ant are guards. Sharp is a wing, in my opinion.
Yep.
So Paul George sometimes plays shooting guard, but like he's a wing. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
See,
he's not a two.
You could even throw Paul George in like forward category,
right? Yeah.
6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have guys that transcend positions.
So yeah, I think Sharp's a wing, and I mean it'd be cool if he developed guard skills as a wing. That would be. Then we're talking about him as probably a star level player. But I'm not going to get too worried about pigeonholing him into like a 2 or a 3 right now.
Yeah. Aaron Bryant says wing is forward, Tori. No, wing is not forward. It goes guard, wing, forward, big. Okay? Nas is a forward. He'll play the 3. He could play some small ball 4. Jeremy Grant is a forward.
Whatever. Terry Stotts started him at the 2 one game. Or said he was going to and then never did.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Terry Stotts things. But, like, Justice Winslow's a forward. Jabari Walker is a forward. Nasir Little is a forward. Okay? Dame...
Grant's a forward.
Okay? Trendon Watford's a big, to me. He's not as fluid of an athlete as those guys. He's going to play he's going to play 5 before he plays the 3 spot. Like, he's a big that can kind of play on the perimeter. Like, Zach Collins was the starting 4 in the past, but he's a big man. Zach Collins was a big man. Despite him being the starting 4, and now Jeremy Grant's the starting 4, they're completely different players. Grant's a forward, Zach Collins was a big, and then Nurkic is obviously a big, Eubanks is a big, and then Dame and Ant are guards, Brandon Williams a guard. That's how I look at it. And
yeah, you don't have to agree with us or think that's how you break it down. If you like the more traditional way, that's fine too.
Yeah, but I like looking at it that way because it's like if you have like forwards, they can switch. No problem. Like, Nas can switch with Grant, can switch with Winslow, you know what I mean? But, like, when you start switching forwards with guards or, like, bigs with wings, then you're going to end up with mismatches, right? But also it's, like, it helps describe the lineup. Like, if you have 2 guards in, 2 wings in, and a forward in, that's obviously a small lineup. If you have 2 guards in, a forward in, and 2 bigs in, like, say you had Dame and CJ, and then Zach Collins and Nurkic at the big man spots, and you had a big 3, like Grant was playing the 3 or something like that, like that's a big lineup. So it kind of describes the lineup. So that's how I've looked at things in the past. Just, yeah.
And one thing we haven't really mentioned today when talking about all this is, I mean, Gary Payton II was one of our main offseason moves, and we've talked in the past about how his defensive mentality is going to hopefully rub off on other players. So hopefully, at least on the defensive end, once he's part of that rotation, I don't know if that's going to be instead of Keon, or if Keon's still going to see minutes over Sharp, like you were kind of alluding to earlier. But yeah, I think Gary Payton could come in and change that a little bit. Just the feeling of, like you said at the beginning of this, how we're kind of blah right now. I think that a guy like Gary Payton changes all that. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I talked about last year. We need tone setters, and we talk about Josh Hart as being like one of those guys, but he's just kind of like passive, right?
Yeah.
And it's preseason, so it's understandable, right? We're just talking in preparation for the regular season. Like Gary Payton II needs to be that tone setter, man. Honestly, Eric, I think he should. I think he should be considered for the starting small forward spot.
Payton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think.
Because he'll defend that position as well as anyone, and he can, like
last
year, he knocked
Winslow's
down
pretty
threes.
good at that.
Yeah, but who would you rather have defending at the small forward position, Gary Payton II or Justice Winslow?
I mean, I think Payton's a little bit better, but I think, I don't know, overall they're about the same. And I don't buy into the shooting from Payton last year. It was such a
But
small
who would you
sample
trust? I know, but who would you trust more as a shooter?
I mean, I went to Oregon State. I've watched Payton forever. I don't trust either of those guys as a shooter. No matter what the stats say, I do not
but
trust. But
he worked hard at it, man.
I know. I know. That's not a bash. That's not a bash on Payton. I think that was kind of an outlier year last year.
Yeah, but I mean, like, his form ain't bad. His form is better than Winslow's. He shot 123s last year, made 43 of them.
I'll say that, yeah. It's definitely better form.
But, like, he shot 35.8% from three. If he regresses 10 percentage points from last year, then, okay, he's Justice Winslow as a shooter. You know what I mean? Like, because Winslow, the past 3 years, 22%, 18%, 23%. Like, yeah, he shot better earlier in his career, but dude, that dude's form is not good.
Yeah.
He like has like he has a messy wrist, like it turns weird, like it's not replicable at the NBA level. Like, yeah, you put him in a rec league, he's probably draining threes on all of us, but at the NBA level, like I trust Gary Payton more as a shooter, and I think he's a little bit better defensively even at the three spot. And then cutting wise, dude, like I know Nurkic and Winslow, yeah, it's nice having them play off each other, but having Gary Payton II's cutting out there and just him setting the tone from the start of the game from an energy standpoint and a defensive standpoint, like and just being that spark to start games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he should be the starting three. I'm saying like it has to be considered at this point.
I think that's part of the problem with him being out, though. Is you could actually see it on the court right now. We're not getting that. Sucks. Yeah,
that's what sucks.
I mean,
if he was healthy right now, I think we'd be having a more serious conversation about that.
I mean, honestly, we were having those conversations earlier. Before we found out he had surgery secretly a month before they told us, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you don't sign him and get hard cap the way we did if that wouldn't have been a serious consideration. So at some point, I think they might try it out if it's not working with the other guys. But coming off that injury, I doubt he'll see that anytime at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I just feel like this is going to be a conversation for at least the next 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think this conversation is going away at the start of the regular season.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect it to either.
Yeah. I mean,
it'd be cool if
now.
Nas just like, this was just a bad couple of games and he just takes over and the game he starts, he never looks back or whatever. But yeah, that's seemingly a little unrealistic right now.
Yep. Chris S., $2 dono. Thank you, Chris. Sorry it took so long to read it. Just was trying to wait until we got to Jabari Walker, but I need to read it. Chris S., $2 dono. My only real complaint, more Jabari, less scrubs. I agree, Chris. Thank you for the dono. Thank you, guys, for supporting the channel. If you have a question for us, leave a dono. We read off everything that is donated, and you support the channel. As far as Jabari goes, dude, play the man. Go on.
Trev and I have not joined the Nas haters. I'm just commenting on what I've seen so far in 2 games.
It's not a bad thing to be realistic.
I think this is what's happening with Jabari. They know he's good. they know they can put him out there at any time, and he's going to do the same things he always does when he goes on the court. So why they don't need to play him in games to know that what they have in him.
But you should know what the hell a Devontae Kaycock is.
But I mean, like, they're just giving that guy a run this game. Like, I doubt he'll play much the rest of the preseason. Like, I think a lot of those guys will get one chance at actual game action, and then that's pretty much it if they don't run with it. So,
well, question: do you know what Jabari Walker is next to decent NBA players more than like a Greg Brown III?
I mean, I don't personally know other than what I think he'll be. But I mean, we're not watching him in practice. I mean, maybe he's definitely earned that in practice, or maybe he's not earning in practice, and that's why he's not playing. I don't know.
I just don't see how he's not earning it in practice.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Some guys are gamers, so find that out now.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it's because he's playing solid in practice, and I mean, there's certain players, and I'd put Josh Hart in this category too, and that's why I'm not worried about either. Is like what they give you. I don't need to see him dominate a preseason game to know that. Now Jabari's a rookie, so of course, yeah, I would like to see him a little bit more, but I think his time will come later in the preseason. But there is a little bit of I hope this isn't the case, but you never know. Like, are they trying to not put pressure on other players to perform with Jabari breathing down his neck? Like, because if he comes out and he just keeps going like he did from Summer League and the first game last night, I mean, he really didn't play tonight. I don't count the 4 minutes of garbage time when we were down by like 15 or whatever, But like, what would that do for the psyche if he's like just dominating players that we thought were going to be? I mean, it would be good for our team if he's that good, but like, I mean, it is possible that they're trying to keep some of the other guys from checking out mentally if he's outperforming them every single game.
Dude, if these guys cannot handle that pressure, we are screwed.
I know. I'm not saying like that much, but like, you know what I mean.
I know, I get it, but like, good teams are mentally strong. If it's a situation where like Nas shows up and just mentally can't handle, like, oh, this rookie behind me looks good, oh no, and then just starts playing like ass, I mean, I don't think pressure is a bad thing. Like,
no, I'm not saying that either.
I'm just saying, like, if that's the case, I don't agree with it. Like, that could be the case, but if that's the case, I don't agree with it.
But like, so people are saying let Walker light a fire under him. Well, that could be what's happening in practice. So they're seeing how these guys respond to Walker kicking their butt in practice and saying, hey, like, go out and show me something, or if you don't very soon, he's going to take your minutes. So that could be what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know. This is all just speculation, or like, I can't think of another reason why this guy doesn't play, because every time he steps on the court, good things happen, and there's a reason for that, because he's such a good player and smart player. So yeah, I'd like to see him more, definitely.
I want to just see him play with solid players, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Because it's like they'll have a game where they play all these scrubs for 30 minutes and he's going to be playing off of Brandon freaking Williams and like Devontae Kaycock and Isaiah Miller. Like, cool. You know what I mean? I want to see him play a little bit with Dame, with Ant. Like, put him in the Grant role with the starters to start the second half for, a few minutes and just see what he looks like in the Grant role with the rest of the starters. Who knows? It could look almost the same because he can knock down threes and cut. And he's a solid defender. Like, he's not Grant as a defender, but just see what it looks like in comparison. Right? And then it's just a situation where, okay, well, this dude plays good with this lineup. Maybe we should, play Grant with the bench lineup, give it a little bit more spark. Not bring Grant off the bench, just stagger him, much like they'll stagger Anthony Simons, sub Grant out early. And then you could sub in Jabari Walker because he plays good with that unit. Like, You got to find out what you have, in my opinion, with this guy playing next to better players, because he seems like the type of glue guy that would look really good playing next to better players, because he can knock down threes and he can cut and he can make the right decision. He's not going to force things and he can play some defense. So find out. Yeah. Instead, we don't get to. And I feel like we're not going to get to in the preseason. I think that's a mistake. He's going to get like 30 minutes in a game where every other scrub on this, like training camp invite also gets 30 minutes.
Probably Thursday night.
Yep. Against not even an NBA team, against European team on Thursday. Yeah, that's frustrating to me. Honestly, that might be the most frustrating thing to me.
Yeah, we'll see.
Free Jabari, please. Anyway.
Clearly a bot with a member for 13 months message. Jazz stat stuffing to sell players. Viva la Uprise. Thank you.
For the 13-month dono. I mean, they played their starters as much as we played ours, dude. Like, their starting lineup: Clarkson, Conley, Markkanen, Vanderbilt, Olynyk. I mean, they have some vets that can score. Conley, 6 for 9. Clarkson, 5 for 8. Olynyk, 3 for 5. 6 assists. And 1 attempt at kicking the ball out of Yusuf Nurkic's hands. Which, I don't think he was trying to trip him. Everybody was saying he was trying to trip him, and I saw him on TV. He said he was trying to kick the ball, which it looked like he just tried to kick the ball, which is stupid.
Still kind of dirty, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to trip him, because who trips somebody by putting their foot at their waist? I don't know, but that's Kelly Olynyk has done some suspect things that make you question. But they also had Colin Sexton off the bench. It's just like, man. I don't want to see this team giving up 118 points to the Utah freaking Jazz. They're supposed to be the worst team in the West this year.
Now who's a Nas hater, Trevin? Wow.
Trevin say?
It's too late for Nas. Man, I'm disappointed in Trevin now. He says free Jabari before it's too late for him like it is Nas. That's... Yeah. Dang, man.
Is Jabari too slow for the 3? Maybe, but like his body could be better. That's the thing, is like he had a high body fat percentage in the draft combine, but I don't shy away from players like that. Like, I feel like people view that as a negative, but like if I see this dude, like he plays well, he can defend 4s, defend, some 3s. Like in Summer League, he defended guards decently on the perimeter. If he does all this, but then it's like, oh, his body has a lot of room for improvement too? Then imagine what's he gonna be if you cut down on that body fat percentage, if you get him in better shape. Maybe he's a guy that can guard guards then. He should be quicker. A little bit less weight. That doesn't really matter, right? So that's the thing with Jabari, is like he might be too slow for some of the better, quicker 3s in the league right now, but I don't think that'll always be the case. Like, I think he will be able to defend 3s and 4s and maybe switch out onto guards and be okay there too. Just needs time to improve his body, which I expect to happen.
Yeah. I think it's tough to see him being the 3 with a Dame Ant backcourt, because we need so much more from our 3. I don't know if he's capable of guarding, quicker guards that well. But I definitely think he could fit in a starting lineup, just maybe not as a 3.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can move Grant to the 3, and I don't really like that either. So it's going to be tough to find him contending for a starting spot, even if he outplays all those guys. But definitely, I think a good goal would be to earn some of the backup 4 minutes. And if he's better than expected this year, then we're thankful, because we need all the help we can get.
Let's talk about Keon. 24 minutes, 7 points, 4 rebounds and assists, 2 turnovers, 3 for 9 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3.
Before we move on, let's get to this $10 donation from Colonel Pancakes. Thank you, Colonel.
I didn't see that.
Jay Walker is so mature for his age. What?
Jabari Walker is so mature for his age. If you listen to his interviews, he sounds like he's in his late 20s.
Yeah, very true.
Yep. For the $10 dono. Yeah, I don't know what the stands word was in there. I'll just ignore it. It makes more sense.
His, the way he talks about the game, I love that attitude from a young player. Just go in and do your job and don't really worry about doing too much or being a star. And I really like that a lot.
Also, Colonel Pancakes, your name and your avatar is top notch. Shout out to you. I'm cracking up. I'm looking at this thing. Now you're making me hungry though. So, but thank you for the $10 dono. Pancake sounds fire right now, man. Let's move on to Keon. Just read off his stat line. Eric, this game was like Keon showcasing his floor. 1 for 3 from the 3-point line, 1 for 4 from the free throw line. Didn't shoot the ball well. Made a couple very questionable decisions where it's like, dude, what are you doing? Didn't really handle like running the offense well.
Yeah, I don't think he's a point guard. But they're kind of playing him as a backup point guard right now. But
I thought he might have a chance. I don't have a problem with them doing it and finding out. But
yeah. But I will say he was really good defensively tonight. He was good in the second half last night. A little rough in the first half yesterday, but I think tonight he was much better, and you could see why he's so well thought of on that end.
Yeah. I mean, but this is just the problem we've had in Portland, man. I mean, he's young. So he has room to become a two-way player. I'm not writing him off at all.
I mean, he's already improved a lot on the offensive end just from what we saw last year. So I'm not going to get down on that.
But like, just in terms of the roster as it is now, like, this has been the problem in Portland is you either have guys that you can rely on for defense, but you can't rely on them for offense. You have guys that you can rely on for offense and can't rely on them for defense. It's one or the other. Like, that's why it's nice having Grant.
But that's what we did this summer. We went heavy on the defense only part of that.
Yeah. I mean, we just need two-way guys.
And that's why I'm not really a fan of adding someone that we saw tonight in Jared Vanderbilt anymore. It's just like I feel like we have too many guys that you have to worry about like that on offense. And I mean, it would be nice to have his defense, but I don't know if we really need it that much to where we're adding another player. That
he'd be a good fit if we played aggressively on defense with the bench unit, which we haven't really seen. This just seem uninspired. Like, I don't really know what the identity is going to be in terms of the defense because it doesn't really seem like we're building one right now. But it's just 2 preseason games. But like, if we're playing aggressively with the defensive lineup, he's a really good fit because he's very mobile and lengthy and long. Like, he's much better than Drew Eubanks in that sort of role. So that's why I'm fine with bringing on Vanderbilt, but I don't think he's worth a first round pick. I would probably trade Keon for him, but I don't think either team is going to do that. So yeah, I mean, two-way players like at the center spot I think it's fine off the bench to just have like a guy that finishes off plays, can finish off dunks, rebound, and protect the rim a little bit, and then like play mobile defense. Like, that's kind of the backup center that I was looking for this team. But just in terms of forwards, for the most part, just perimeter players in general, it would be nice to have another two-way guy other than Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, well, give those minutes to Walker.
Yeah, that's why I like Walker, is because he could be that guy. That's why I like Sharp, because he could be that guy. It's just, are they going to become those guys, and how fast?
We also haven't seen Watford yet, so maybe he's improved enough defensively to be that guy as well. And he has the skills to be hopefully a little better on offense.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see Watford with this lineup. But anyway, let's jump into Brant's breakdowns. And I have a play to break down at the end of this. All right, I picked out a play, had Eric take pictures of it and everything. But yeah. All right, cool. Just loaded in. Also, what'd you think of the scoreboard, Eric?
What? I think this was the Utah feed, so.
No? What do you mean this is a Utah feed? This was our scoreboard.
I was watching the Utah feed, so. This is our scoreboard. I don't know. It's weird.
What?
I watched the game on the Utah feed. I got pictures from our feed when I went back to take pictures of the plays I wanted to take. So I took notes.
Yeah, because this was how they were talking about like the whole new broadcast feel and analytics thing and whatnot. Mm-hmm. There's a couple things they introduced. I wasn't watching this game like extremely hard. They were paying attention, but I just think they need to change the number font and make it a little bit easier to read. Like, the number font's kind of weird. Everything else is okay. I don't understand the thick black right side border on the Blazers logo. I think you just get rid of the right side border. But I'm getting into my lane as I'm a Photoshopper and a graphic designer now, Eric, because I'm a YouTuber type of thinking. So, but yeah. Anyway, chat. I'll do a chat poll on what you guys grade the scoreboard and the new graphics package for the Let me do that right now.
The Utah feed I was watching didn't even have a scoreboard on it, so I was like, "What the heck is the score?" Like, because I was trying to watch while I was waiting for my game to start.
Yeah. I'll get this poll going, and then after I get it going, I'll hop into Brand's breakdown. We'll talk about it at the end of it. I'm just kind of curious. I wish I could do 5 options, but so it will be D or F. Reddit is fuming right now from the graphics talk. My bad, there's the poll. Let's break it down with Brand's breakdown. We need, music for this, intro music. You know those TV shows where it's, judge something and it's, very dramatic? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. We need something like that for Brand's breakdown. Anyway. What you got in play number 1?
All right, so play...
Or is this my play?
That's the third slide of the third play.
Spoiler. Oh, it's not even toggling. I tried to do this a different way. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. All right. Let me do it like this. Okay. We're going to do I tried to do it tried to streamline the process. Didn't work. That's what preseason is for, Eric. We're trying things out. Alright, just like the Blazers should be doing instead of switching their defense for the entirety of Game 1, alright? Here we go. Let me drag this to make it full screen. And then... Yeah, there, that should be good. Alright.
Aaron Bryant, we literally talked about that at the very beginning of the show. Sorry to make you mad.
Yeah, I had a rec game. But yeah, we're still streaming. Sorry. Should we not stream? Should I just cut off the stream? All right, guys. Thank you for watching the Blazers Uprise post-game show. Peace out. Go Blazers.
So this first play, this was after Utah got a rebound. Justice Winslow took it out of, I think it was Vanderbilt's hands or something. And then we kicked it back up top. Nurk's going to set a pick for Dame. He's going to come off it. And he's going to attract Markkanen, and Conley's going to follow him in the second picture.
Yep.
And then he's going to throw a very nice pocket pass to Yusuf Nurkic here in the second picture. Nurk's going to catch it in a great spot. And we have Vanderbilt here stuck between his man Winslow in the dunker spot and Nurk in the middle of the key. And this is the perfect setup in my mind because you have Simons on one side as a spot-up shooter. You have Grant ready to shoot the ball on the top of the three-point line up there. And so this is a play where if Vanderbilt doesn't come up, Nurk's going to just drive in and have a lane or dunk. And if Vanderbilt does come up, like he does, when Nurkic just drops it off to Winslow for an easy 2 in the third slide.
Yep. And Winslow finished with a nice reverse layup on that play too. One thing I would like to see as part of this, Ant should slide down to the corner.
Yes.
Ant should slide with the pick and roll down to the corner because he's more visible in the corner than he is right there. And his defender is paying attention to Nurkic. He's not going to see him slide down.
The only thing I'll say about that is if he's in the corner right now, Clarkson probably cuts off that pass to Winslow. So maybe
not that soon. Once it's into the paint, slide down to the corner. Not too early, but Clarkson's already not even paying any attention to Ant, so it doesn't matter where it goes. You know what I mean?
But Ant knew we were good already.
yeah. But that's the thing is when there's nobody in the corner, it's generally a good thing to slide down as the ball gets deep into the paint because it's easier to see a guy in the corner than it is on the kickout. But I absolutely love making a play when they send 2 to Dame on a pick and roll and giving it to Nurk and then Winslow or Grant or whoever cutting in this situation. Your guy helps and helps up, get behind them, and it can be a lob. If this is Grant, a lob might be the best play, But you just gotta get the pass through, and a lot of times this defensive player will be jumping trying to block a shot. So if you try and lob it, they might block that as well. So a little drop pass that Nurkic had was beautiful. Need more of this.
Yep. And this is what I was talking about earlier in the stream, where if we're going to use Winslow in this position, he needs to not be because last night he would have been standing in the corner on this, and it would have been terrible, and the spacing would have all been off. But just having that adjustment to go in there, and this is how you can get away, in my mind, with playing Nurk and Winslow together, is if they're creating actions like this off that pick and roll dump pass by Dame.
Yep. We lost like 50 viewers after I said peace out, go Blazers. I wonder if people thought that was real.
Good job, Tori.
Whoops. Oh well. It was worth it. Anyway, play number 2. Let me pull that up here because I have to switch him out.
And for those that didn't catch it at the beginning of the stream, I watched the first quarter and missed part of the second quarter and halftime, and then watched the second half. And Tori missed part of the first half, but then went back and watched all the plays on. I don't know what you watched it on, but yeah.
Here's what I meant. Like, I wasn't watching super closely. And honestly, during the regular season, I'll do this too. Like, I was watching plays and the action, but in terms of, like, looking for graphics and what the graphics were on replays and that sort of thing, like, a dead ball happens and they start showing a replay, and I'll go to Twitter and I'll tweet, like, a 3-sentence tweet by the time the ball's inbounded. You know what I mean? Like, I'll start tweeting. Guys, how do you think I'm able to watch the game 100% of the time and then tweet as much as I do during the game? I wish I could do that. That would be sick. But I can't.
That's why I'll tweet a lot during the game.
yeah. But when the dead ball happens, I can type fast. When the dead ball happens, I'm typing, commentating. You know. Also, if you don't follow me on Twitter or Eric on Twitter or the channel on Twitter, there's links down below for all those. At Tori Jones YT, at Hoopsjock for Eric, at Blazers Uprise YT for the channel. Twitter plug. Anyway, play numero dos.
All right, this is going to be a play where we get the ball into Nurk in the post.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
and
this play. Ooh, this is good.
And Utah House is pretty well covered right now.
Mm-hmm.
Grant really isn't open.
Uh-huh.
But Nurk throws it to him anyway in the second slide.
Oh, this is a different play, I think. Anyway, go on.
And so Grant catches the ball right here.
Mm-hmm.
Markkanen's back to him. He doesn't have a shot. This is the difference between Jeremy Grant and some of our forwards last year or in years past, whether that be Aminu or Harkless or ones like that. So they're not doing this where you catch a ball, you're not open, and you get by your guy and get a lay-in out of it, which he does in the third slide. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be a new dimension of our offense that we have not had, is a guy who is that big that can just completely destroy a well-defended play by the defense.
Yep. It's even a better play is if also you have like Ant next to him in the corner instead of Winslow spotting up. That slashing ability can help open up shots for those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So this play, it's Winslow, and Winslow's kind of playing around the rim because that's what he does, so his defender's able to contest. But in this sort of situation, man, if you have Ant on that side of the floor or Dame on that side of the floor and their guy helps like this and tries to make it harder, kick out pass, wide open 3 for a great shooter. Or Grant can finish through, like Grant finished through this defense. So it's a situation where you have a forward that can help collapse the defense and create for Dame and Ant, but also they can collapse the defense and still score through it, which is awesome.
I think when talking about the Nurk Winslow dynamic too, so his man doesn't leave him on this play because they got burnt on that a few times with Winslow hanging out around the basket, so he knew he couldn't leave him, and that created both, that created the driving lane for Grant. And then I think it's Clarkson comes over too late. So yeah, it's just really cool to see that develop where we don't really we run a play that I want to run more often, but it's not really open, but we still get a good shot out of it.
Yep. All right, I have a play. What are we calling this segment, chat? Eric, what are we calling this segment? Tory's Trenches?
I don't know.
Play number 3. Let me load it up here. This is weird going to be me describing a play. I don't know if I've ever even had a play before. I had Eric take pictures of this play as well because this just shows a good example of playing in the gaps of a defense, okay? When you're off the ball and the ball's on the other side of the court, if you're directly behind your defender, even if your defender's not close to you, it makes it hard to get you the ball because your defender is in the path of what the pass would be, okay?
Also, for those that could see, Keon has the ball up at the top, being guarded by number 2, Colin Sexton there. Yeah. It's just hard to tell in the picture.
Where is Keon, actually?
He's right in behind Colin Sexton at the top of the key with the ball. Yeah.
Where Nurkic is sitting on the bench in the corner. Okay, so when teams overload one side of the floor, that's what I'm going to showcase here. Why does it go to that one, bro? Hold on. Why did it go to that one? Did not save. That was glitchy. Okay. Okay, cool. I don't know why I went to the last play. So ball gets swung up to Dame. Dame hits a cutting Nas. Okay? He can sit in this corner and shoot this 3, but this is what I want to see from Nas if he's not hitting shots. Alright? There's a passing lane in between Olynyk and Clarkson here. Dame threads the needle with this pass. And then he has a lane to the rim. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, it's kind of hard to tell from this, but Nas is in the corner, and he starts moving like when he sees Dame passing instead of just waiting in the corner. And Dame kind of leads him, forcing him to go there, so that was a good play by Dame, too, to kind of pass in front of him instead of right at him. Yeah,
I thought the defense was a little closer to Nas, but in this sort of situation, you can make this cut because Dame has a passing lane that can lead him to the rim. So he's able to catch the ball with a head of steam there, finish with a dunk. That was his only bucket of the game. Okay? This is what you need guys like Nas to do. This is what you need guys even like a Jabari Walker to do because Dame's going to get a lot of attention. I mean, look at that freaking defense. Look at that defense. There's 5 guys all up by Dame. They're paying no attention to Nasir Little. It's almost disrespectful, right? You had Olynyk on him. Olynyk's the last line of the defense. Look at how high he goes. I don't know why he went that high, but when you have Dame, when you have Ant, when you have Jeremy Grant, you're going to have defenses that overload the side of the floor that the ball is on. On the backside, you have to have guys that cut. Okay? Now, if this is a great three-point shooter, then he can stay spotted up, and we have a great three-point shooter shooting a wide-open corner 3. That's like the best three-point shot you can get. But when it's a guy like Nas, who's an athlete and a questionable three-point shooter, cut into that gap, pass the ball through that gap. That's a really good pass by Dame, by the way, to lead him, and then finish. 2-hand, strong finish around the rim, easy bucket, easy points.
The only bucket of the night for Nas.
Yep, unfortunately. But that's what Nas has to do. And that's what Winslow has to do, especially if he's starting, because he won't be respected. Like, you'll see defenders playing like this. I just don't know if Winslow in this situation is finishing this play where, like, Nas with a head of steam and the defense rotating late is finished. Like, this was easy for him. And even when Shane Sharp plays, Eric needs to be doing this with his athleticism and try to finish like this. So we got athletes on this team. We got some questionable shooting. You make up for it by cutting.
Yep, and that's something that we have not done a good job in years past is using the athleticism on cuts like that to generate offense and easy baskets. So I'm hoping that's something with, like you mentioned, how athletic we are, that we see a lot more of in the future. And eventually you can maybe even turn that into a lob or whatever. And, yeah, Dame could take one more dribble at Olynyk and make him commit, and, yeah, then it's over.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, with as much traffic around him, I wouldn't even want him to take another dribble because he could get swarmed.
Yeah, I mean, some of those guys you need kind of close lob passes, but I think if it's Sharp, for example, I think you can just throw it up anywhere near the hoop and he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, love to see it. Love to see it. What does chat vote? B for the new graphics. 29% say A. Okay, I would say C plus, B minus. I feel like that's the grade I give out for everything lately. But 34% say B. Okay, I'm glad you guys like it. I just think they need to change the number font for the score. Because it's a little bit hard to read. I mean, it's not hard to read. It's just, it looks a little off. Anyway. Ending that chat poll. Any other player or thing you want to talk about, Eric?
I mean, pretty much everyone else played, like the last few minutes, and it didn't really, nothing really happened. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think I want to talk about anyone else.
Yeah. And this was kind of a brutal game, man. I don't expect guys to play super hard on defense in the preseason, but and you can't. Here's the thing: is I feel like we go into preseason looking for answers, right? Mm-hmm. And you're never going to get answers from preseason. You're only going to get trends. You're going to get okay, they're trending this way. This looks better. This looks good going into the season, but you don't know if it's good until the season hits, right? So you're not going to get answers from preseason. But this preseason has just raised more questions. Okay? You can't get answers, but you can end up with more questions. And this preseason, after 2 games, has just led me to question certain things. So, it's not something where I have a definitive change in opinion at all. But I'm starting to wonder if certain things might be true or not. We're moving. I felt like we had more answers before the preseason than we do now, which is kind of a bummer. But it's not a surprise this preseason. I'm not gonna overreact. Didn't we go winless in preseason last year?
Yeah, and everyone was freaking out. Yeah, that wasn't a good sign. But I'm pretty confident we'll win on Thursday.
We better. I mean, we could pull a Phoenix Suns and lose to a non-NBA team.
I mean, it hadn't happened in a while. Hope not.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
we might not play our starters because Dame said there was one game he wasn't expecting to play significant minutes. It's probably that one.
Yeah. Honestly, it's going to be interesting tomorrow because the Suns play the Lakers, and the Lakers lost by 30 to the Kings in the preseason. Mm-hmm. So those teams don't look good, but I mean, that team the Suns played just shot the lights out. I can't even fully blame the Suns for that one. But yeah, Maccabi on Thursday, 7 p.m. It's not televised, is it?
No, I don't think it's televised unless there's some sort of foreign international feed. Hopefully.
So, we will have a stream, but who knows what it is in terms of a post-game stream. Maybe I should just go to the game.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to the game. I don't know if it's going to work out, but yeah.
Maybe I'll go to the game and then we can do a post-game show. Because if there's not a feed, how else am I going to watch the game? You know?
Yeah. We could talk about other stuff, I guess.
Yeah, how much are courtside tickets?
Preseason.
Probably $10, hopefully. No, it's going to be more than that for sure. Portland Trail Blazers courtside tickets are... The cheapest tickets are $2.
Not courtside.
No, I know, but I would say courtside. There's $2 courtside tickets. How many tickets do you want? Let's just put in 2. And then courtside is still $200.
Chris said he was in section 106 for $14. Nice.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, courtside's still expensive as hell. Yeah, you could set 100 level baseline row. Section 117 row A, $14. Yeah, maybe I'll go on Thursday.
Excuse me for a sec.
Yeah, excuse you. Whatever you got going on. Now I'm echoing. Whoops. Okay, no, it's fine now. You're fine now. I was echoing for a minute. Yeah, I'll probably, if I go, I'll probably sit 100 level, see if we can get, you know, a group or something. Also, by the way, if you message me about our fantasy basketball league, I'm setting up, honestly, there's enough interest, I'm probably going to set up 2 different leagues. But, I will, like, sort that out tonight. I had so many people reach out to me for our $20 buy-in fantasy basketball league. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should follow me on Twitter. Anyway, I think Eric got thirsty.
No, not thirsty. Leg cramp.
You got a leg cramp? A hamstring? Yeah. You got to stream after playing basketball again. I've been doing it for a while, but now you got to do it? Welcome to pain.
I was just like sitting here in pain. I was like, oh man, I need to get up and stretch.
You should have just told us you were cramping. There's no embarrassment in that. You were hooping.
I wasn't embarrassed. I just needed to go stretching for a second.
Do you go drink mustard?
I don't know.
Oh, you should have drank
had
mustard.
Like a banana or something.
Should have put mustard on a banana.
What did I do with
What'd you lose?
Oh, I bought bananas yesterday.
Bananas sound good right now.
I don't know where I put them.
I had You ever have Nectar juice bar?
Sure.
Sure? No, so you haven't?
Yeah, I have.
I like in the peanut butter bowl with the bananas and the strawberries and the green apples on top with the granola. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not complete crap food. Because I don't eat the best, so...
And no, I'm not eating a banana on stream, sorry.
What do we got to do to get you to eat a banana on stream?
No, I don't even want to say what it would take because I don't want.
Chat. Give us a chat.
I already ate a glizzy on stream once. I'm not gonna freaking eat a banana.
You know how fast that would be clipped and put on Twitter? Trevin's still in here. Ooh. All right. The stream's at 75 likes. If we get to 150 likes in the next
you can eat a
2 minutes, I don't have a banana. You got to eat the banana. If we get to 150 likes in the next 2 minutes, Eric got to eat a banana on stream.
No way. I'm not begging for like.
All right, deal. All right, chat. We're at 76. You got to 11:22. We're at 81.
I'm not doing it. I did not agree to that.
Chat's gonna shame you if you don't do it.
No.
Dang, we could hit.
Yeah, you asked for something that didn't benefit me. That was the wrong call.
What do you mean it doesn't benefit you, man? Likes are good for the channel.
I know
we could be at 8K subs before you know it.
If you just asked people to like the stream and help us out, they would have done the same thing.
I don't think so. When I do that, we'll get like 10 extra likes. We got 20 like that. All right.
Why do you guys want to see me eat a banana? It's so weird.
The things Eric will do for likes, guys.
Go watch our very first stream, the draft video.
Did you eat a banana on that stream?
No, I ate a hot dog, man.
You ate a hot dog on that stream? That was your first
yeah.
stream. That was a rookie mistake.
Yeah, no, I felt like we were streaming for like 6 hours straight, and we did it at one of our friends' houses, and he had like all this food, and we didn't even get any of it because we had been streaming since the minute we got there, and I was so hungry because it was late, and yeah, so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go grab a hot dog, and then I just sat down, and I was like, realized I was on stream eating it.
And nobody clipped it because I don't think we had Trevin there. Well, you guys are only at 100 likes, so guess.
Does the clip thing work for old streams
unlucky. Now? I don't know, but that first stream, like the playback on it was glitched out for some reason. Like it was stuttery, like after it was live. Like when it was live, it was fine, but afterwards it was very stuttery and like delayed and stuff.
Yeah, it was a few hours after we drafted Nas.
Yeah, but my voice was so tired and sore after that stream, man. Like, I did not have the streamer voice stamina at that point. Yeah, I remember that. That's crazy. I put a clip of that in the Nas player preview, too. Went back, got a clip. I thought, dude, I should have... If I knew this before I made that Nas player preview, Eric, when I referenced our first stream was when we drafted Nas and showed a clip from it, I would have found the clip with the freaking hot dog. You know what, though? Trevin's probably already found it.
Yeah. Expect a timestamp here shortly.
Yeah. Trevin will be posting it in the Discord shortly. If you're not in our Discord, segue for a plug. There is a link to our Discord down in the description box below, and it works because I just updated it before the stream. So if you want to join our Discord, it's the Eric Eat a Hot Dog.
Usually it's you trying to sneak food on the show.
Dude, I don't do that anymore, honestly.
I know. I
just starve myself and don't eat. Yeah. That's why Banana Selling is so good right now. Shout out Jackson, member for 21 months, and our moderator. So shout out to him. Double shout out to him. What's up, Jackson? Read his message, Eric.
It's just a banana emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a banana emoji.
Yeah.
Anyway. Anything else for this wonderful preseason stream?
No, I just want to thank everyone for watching us tonight. Sorry we weren't completely locked into the game and had other stuff, but I think between the two of us, we managed pretty well. Yeah. There you go. 341.50 on the very first stream on this channel.
Should I go and
No, man, don't do that. If you want to see it, that's enough information to go find it.
I'm gonna. No, I'm not gonna watch it on my phone. This is getting a little weird. Do you guys talk about Walker Kessler? Nope. Why would we talk? I don't know. Walker Kessler, did he do anything?
He played 16 minutes.
And had
kind of awkward out there.
0 for 1.
3 for 6 from the free throw line.
3 points. Yeah, I don't know what I'd say about him, honestly, man. He shouldn't have been drafted as high as he was. That's my opinion. He seemed very clueless, yeah. Jason Joseph says your thumbnails are elite this year. Yeah, man, I'm going to do something. I don't know if this is the template that I'm rolling with for regular season post-game shows, but yeah, I'm definitely going to spice them up, man. I hold myself to too high of a standard now to do the post-game thumbnails that I had from last year with the logos and stuff. And those thumbnails aren't bad at all. It's just, I'm such a try-hard now with thumbnails. Yeah. I've nerded out and really tried to make them pop. Anyway. We'll have a stream Thursday night. It might be on our second channel, Blazers Uprise Live. If you're not subscribed to that, make sure you subscribe. It's linked down in the description box below. We usually stream twice a week. Right now, it would be Mondays and Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Pacific. But obviously, we're doing post-game shows instead. But that is a Thursday night where they play Maccabi Tel Aviv, so we may just kind of do a little bit different of a stream, like a little bit more chill, a little bit more laid back, a little less serious, and do that over on the second channel, so don't miss it. But yeah, Maccabi Tel Aviv. Who knows if we can even talk about that game? So, we honestly, it might just be an hour or 2 hours of life advice for those of you who need life advice. Like Max. Max, are you still falling in love with? Are you still falling in love on the first date, Max? Or did we help you out that stream? Max is one of our hopefully successful case studies.
Zach managed to clip it. There you go in chat if you want to see it.
See our mods, dude. That's what our mods do, man. Hopefully, there's timestamps for this stream because I want to get timestamps for post-game streams and then post in the description so people can go back and watch specific segments, make it a little bit easier for them, and it also helps me with stream highlights. So, hopefully, my mods are able to help out with that this year. But honestly, I don't know if they'll do that. They would rather just timestamp stuff from the past where one of us embarrasses ourselves. That's what they get off on. So
wait, why is that embarrassing?
It's not embarrassing. I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
Anyway, Pim $5 dono says Trevin Fund. Is that the fund for Trevin for going and getting that timestamp?
Rebooting.
Or is it because he's a robot who we've never talked to? Because he won't share his voice, like he's embarrassed or something. The joke is that he's a robot. Honestly, I think he might be.
I don't think Trevin ever answered my question a couple weeks ago.
What did you ask him?
I asked if I invited him to a game, free tickets, if he would
Trevin,
come.
on Thursday.
If he was able to come, would he actually show up and come watch a game with me?
Trevin, on Thursday. I know you want to watch some Maccabi Tel Aviv. Yeah, he never answered. I'm disappointed.
If it can't work out on Thursday, maybe a different game.
Dude, you know how many people are subscribed to this channel that would love to go to a game with you for free? It's probably like thousands of people. And Trevor's just gonna like turn his nose up and not respond. It's disgraceful. Never been so ashamed.
He's gonna think this is some sort of trick or something. It's not. Like, I generally want to go to a game with him, but whatever. Yeah, thousands is a bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah, I thought of saying tens and tens like that commercial, but I felt like that was a little mean, so I was trying to be nice. All right. Anyway.
Zach, technically you didn't go to a game with me. I just said anyone who wants to join me can, and where I'd be sitting, so yeah.
And there wasn't enough people.
That was fun.
That it was a problem. Yeah, it was pretty empty up there in the 300 section. That was a Timberwolves game. I was there. Reese was there. Zach was there.
Jared
Clearly
was there.
a bot was there. Who else was there?
Jared.
Jared was there. Yeah, I went with Jared. I thought there was somebody else, but I'm forgetting.
Just like a trap, just to like, I don't know, record your voice or take a video or something. That's not what it would be. But that's your only question without answering the question.
Trevin's gonna like whisper to you, "Are you wearing a wire?"
I'm like secretly videotaping all of them.
Yeah, I just want to hear what Trevin's voice sounds like. Because watch, it's going to be completely normal and he's too shy to share it for no reason. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this postgame show. We'll be live again on Thursday. There's another chat bot for you, Taylor Packer.
Did I get it?
Taylor Packer, by the way, said Eric is the Drake of Blazers media.
Oh.
How do you feel about that?
I don't care. That's fine. I'll take it. Drake is successful, so whether you think he's crap or not, he's successful, right?
Yeah. Jetson says, how did a vulgar website get on here? I guess he hasn't been watching streams lately because that's been a reoccurring thing. It's happened like 3 times this stream already. YouTube has a problem with chatbots, and Taylor loves it.
Yeah, and then Jackson's out here unhiding the sex box.
I agree, Jackson. Oh, Zach hit it. Anyway, we'll be live again on Thursday on probably the second channel. I'll let you guys know. I don't think Maccabi Tel Aviv is a big enough game for the main channel, but I don't know. I'll tweet it out, so follow us on Twitter. Links below. Bunch of links below. There's like player preview series and top 100 series and all that type of stuff. Stay tuned for some content tomorrow. And then standings predictions on Thursday. I already have all the graphics done for those and have those pretty much ready to go. And yeah, it's only, 15 days until the season. I don't know if this team is ready, but I don't know that they're not. I don't know what to think at this point, all right? But the Blazers lose to the Utah Jazz, 118-101 in preseason. But there were some positives. We Grant, Dame, and Nurk looked solid. Some other guys, not so much. Justice Winslow had a good game at the starting 3. We'll see who starts on Thursday, or if the starters play. It could be a game for bench guys. And honestly, now that I realize that, I really want to go to the game because if Shaden Sharp plays 30 minutes, I want to be there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, maybe we'll have to
get some non-NBA team.
Yeah. Dude, I don't care. I just want to see him play 30 minutes, man. We got 10K views on the Summer League game where he got hurt on the watch party for that because people really wanted to see him play. So, yeah, we'll see on Thursday what we got in terms of the game, in terms of the post-game show, that sort of thing. Any final words, Mr. Brandt?
Thank you to all watching. And once again, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the community and hope to see you around more post-game shows in the future. And check out our other content if you're interested in more Blazer stuff.
Yep. Shout out to Chris S., Brian Tadovich, Colonel Pancakes, and Pim Araz. I feel like I butchered your last name, Pim, but I try. Thank you.
At least you don't say Prim anymore.
Yeah, I used to say Prim, so at least I got your first name right. All right, I'm working on it, but thank you for donating to the channel and supporting the channel. With that being said, we are out of here. We'll catch you live again on Thursday. Until then, as always,